Apa kabar semua? Luar biasa, puji Tuhan. So, let's get right into it. Jadi hari ini I will be talking more about sesuai tema kita tahun ini, dan with Garam Camp coming soon, it'll be good for us to talk about some aspects of conversion and what it means. Jadi sebelum kita semua tahu ya, tema kita tahun ini dan untuk camp yang akan segera datang adalah conversi. I'll probably mix English Indo karena anak-anak masih di sini juga. So let's start by asking, what is conversion? Konversi itu apa? Nah, ini mungkin kita semua udah tahu, tapi apa-apalah kita ingatkan diri kita juga. Let's remind ourselves. So, conversion is the process of turning something into something else. Ya, itu paling simple kayak gitu. Dari satu hal ke hal yang lain. Paling gampang lah. Mungkin the easiest way for us to explain it adalah dengan uang, ya. It's with money. Conversion rate itu mungkin, when we think of conversion, that's the easiest thing we think about, ya. Kursnya, conversion rate. Jadi 1 AUD, 1 AUD is around the same as, what is it now? 10,800, something like that lah, ya. Jadi $1 Australia sama dengan 10.800 rupiah, ya. Kenapa di gereja ngomongnya end up-nya tentang uang juga ya, tapi gak apa-apa. So, that is what it is. From one system to another. Value-nya sama. 1 AUD sama 10.800 is the same value. Maybe in different places you buy different things, but you bring 10,800 rupiah to Australia, you get $1. Sama, $1 di Indonesia, 10.800. So, one system to another system. AUD, IDR, Celsius, Fahrenheit. So 10 Celsius is the same as 50 Fahrenheit times 9 divided by 5 plus 32. It's the same system. Now, in the way that we're using it as a theme this year, jujur katanya lumayan aneh ya, conversion. Kalau di konteks gereja atau kekristenan. Karena kalau kita pikir conversion di konteks gereja ya, like converting to Christianity ya, masuk ke dalam agama Kristen. But the way that we're using it as a theme is mengkonversikan atau converting apa yang Tuhan udah kasih di dalam kita supaya bisa nyata di dalam dunia ini. So converting what's inside of us so it's visible outside. Mungkin manifestasi lah, atau mungkin kata itu terlalu new age. Tapi manifesting what's inside of us so it's real. Jadi bukan cuma di dalam aja, kita harus konversikan apa yang di dalam kita supaya bisa nyata di dalam dunia ini. Nah, so far untuk conversion yang paling gampang atau paling masuk akal, what makes the most sense in Christian or what we've listened to before, ya mungkin ke dalam karunia rohani ya, spiritual gifts, because that's something that mungkin kita kurang tahu gimana manifestasikannya, or to manifest that into reality. We talk about spiritual gifts, you know. I have the gift of teaching. What does that look like? Ya mungkin itu, that's the easiest way to do it. And pasti mama sama papa udah ngomong tentang itu. So we've talked about that before, spiritual gifts. But one thing which is what I'm going to be talking about today, yang hal ini penting juga untuk kita mengkonversikan dari apa yang di dalam kita untuk bisa nyata di dalam dunia ini. And that is identity. Identitas. You know. Much like spiritual gifts, God has given us an identity. And that identity needs to be converted so it's real in this world. Identitas itu harus dikonversikan supaya bisa nyata di dunia ini. Because right now, the world is facing a bit of an identity crisis. Ya mungkin gak usah kasih contoh, mungkin lumayan kelihatannya di luar. Kita tinggal di Melbourne, you know, it's pretty clear what's going on out there. We put our identity in things that don't matter. We make up our own identities for ourselves. We don't want to live like who we are. Maybe we don't know who we are. Jadi kita nggak tahu identitas kita itu sebenarnya apa. So that's why it's important to convert what the identity God has already given us. Karena kita udah ada identitas yang Tuhan kasih untuk kita. Kita cuma harus konversikan itu supaya nyata. So, apa identitas itu? What is that identity that God has given us? So let's have a look at a classic verse. Mungkin tiap tahun di Garam ayat ini mungkin muncul lebih dari 30 kali ya. Karena ini lumayan foundational dalam apa yang Bang Jo dan Tante Ina selalu khotbahkan kepada kita. So let's look at Genesis 1 verse 26 to 27. Kejadian 1 ayat 26 sampai 27. Whatever version Indo atau ya oke. Ya. Berfirmanlah Allah, baiklah kita menjadikan manusia menurut gambar dan rupa kita, supaya mereka berkuasa atas ikan-ikan di laut dan burung-burung di udara, dan atas ternak dan atas seluruh bumi dan atas segala binatang melata yang merayap di bumi. Ayat 27. Maka Allah menciptakan manusia itu menurut gambarnya, menurut gambar Allah diciptakannya dia, laki-laki dan perempuan diciptakannya mereka. Jadi, ya, can't get any more fundamental than that, ya. Ini paling basis, ini the foundational. Ya. We are made in the image of God. Kita diciptakan menurut gambar dan rupa Tuhan. So, identitas kita yang sebenarnya itu di dalam Tuhan. Di dalam Tuhan. So that's easy done. Ya, kita pulang langsung makan. But this is before sin entered the world, sebelum dosa masuk ke dalam dunia ini, dan sejak itu kita kehilangan identitas kita. Kita nggak tahu apa itu. Seluruh dunia setelah dosa masuk, when sin entered the world, the whole world fell into the slavery of sin. Kita semua masuk ke dalam perbudakan dosa. Do I need to explain sin as a slavery? Kayaknya gini, tiap kali aku khotbah ngomong tentang ini juga, mama papa juga sering ngomong tentang ini. It's something, but to make it quick, you know, let's read it lah. Romans 7, verse 14 to 20. Ayat, ya, Indo juga lah, Cah. Okay. Sebab kita tahu bahwa hukum Taurat adalah rohani, tetapi aku bersifat daging, terjual di bawah kuasa dosa. Jadi stop dulu, balik ke ayat 14. Jadi daging kita, who we are, what we are in right now, kita ada di dalam dosa. Bukan cuman buat dosa, kita dibawa kuasanya dosa. So sin isn't just a thing, it's a power. What does it say in English, chat? Just quickly. Yeah, sold into sin's power, like a slave. So we are under the power of sin, di bawah kuasanya dosa. Let's continue. Sebab apa yang aku perbuat aku tidak tahu, karena bukan apa yang aku kehendaki yang aku perbuat, tetapi apa yang aku benci, itulah yang aku perbuat. 16. Jadi jika aku perbuat apa yang tidak aku kehendaki, aku menyetujui bahwa hukum Taurat itu baik. 17. Kalau demikian bukan aku lagi yang memperbuatnya, tetapi dosa yang ada di dalam aku. Sebab aku tahu bahwa di dalam aku, yaitu di dalam aku sebagai manusia, tidak ada sesuatu yang baik, sebab kehendak memang ada di dalam aku, tetapi bukan hal berbuat apa yang baik. Sebab bukan apa yang aku kehendaki, yaitu yang baik, yang aku perbuat, melainkan apa yang tidak aku kehendaki, yaitu yang jahat yang aku berbuat. Jadi jika aku berbuat apa yang tidak aku kehendaki, maka bukan lagi aku yang memperbuatnya, tetapi dosa yang diam di dalam aku. Ini, this is the kicker ya. This is the one. Jadi yang perbuat dosanya bukan kitanya per se, tapi kuasa dosa yang di dalam kita. That power of sin inside of us is what makes us do the things that Paul says we don't want to do it. Kita sebenarnya nggak mau bikin itu, but we do it anyway. You know, and mungkin soal dosa and regarding sin and all these things, it sort of makes sense ya. Jadi dosa itu bukan cuma perbuatan, because if it was just an action, kalau cuma soal perbuatan, ya udah just stop doing it. You know, if it's just something, just stop. You know, sometimes people have a habit of when they sit down, they shake their leg. Yeah, they shake their leg. Like, if you really want to, just stop it, kan? Nah, dosa nggak kayak gitu. Sin's not like that, because there's something inside of us that grabs us and keeps making us do it. It's hard to fall out of sin. Ya kita semua tahu lah. Yeah. You know, I believe we're all good people here, tapi kita semua jatuh dalam dosa. Whatever sin it may be. We all fall into sin. But, yeah, sin is not just a thing we do. It's a power. It's something that enslaves us. It traps us. It keeps us down. It's one of the things that stops us from knowing our true identity. Yang di dalam Tuhan. Nah, that's why we needed Jesus to save us from sin. You know, to save us from the slavery of sin. Kita perlu Yesus untuk menyelamatkan kita, beli kita balik dari kuasa dosa. Yeah. So the key word dengan identity, dengan identitas is slavery, perbudakan. Kita dibawa kuasa dosa. So the thing about slaves and identity is that slaves don't have an identity. Budak nggak punya identitas. Identitas budak ada kepada siapa yang kuasai dia. The slave's identity is determined by who rules them. Back in the day, we had slaves until like 200 years ago, ya, di Amerika. Like that's not that far back kalau kita pikirin. Ya, the Bible was written since 2000 years ago. Slaves were here for 1,800 years. So it's not something that is not in modern history yet. 200 tahun nggak terlalu jauh. That's just how many generations? Like less than 10 generations. No. If we are in this world, di dalam dunia ini, dan yang kuasai dunia ini adalah dosa, artinya when we don't know who our real identity is, identitas kita is controlled by who rules us. And since we're in the world, it's unfortunately sin. Dan mungkin kita udah terbiasa dengan identitas yang dunia ini offer kepada kita, yang menawarkan kepada kita. What sort of identities does that look like? You know, it could be something yang kita pikir harmless or something normal. It could be your career. A lot of people put their identities in the career, in talents, you know, and put their identity in wealth, in physical appearance, material things. Some people put their identity in their relationships, dalam hubungan mereka, in their families. I'm a family guy, but above everything is God. These things in this world, they don't last. Career, money, wealth, physical appearance. Ada endnya juga. There's an end to it. These worldly things don't last. But the world gives us an identity, and that's what it gives us. So let's read 1 John 2 verse 15 sampai 17. Ya. Janganlah kamu mengasihi dunia dan apa yang ada di dalamnya. Jikalau orang mengasihi dunia, maka kasih akan Bapa tidak ada di dalam orang itu. Sebab semua yang ada di dalam dunia, yaitu keinginan daging dan keinginan mata serta keangkuhan hidup, bukanlah berasal dari Bapa, melainkan dari dunia. Dan dunia ini sedang lenyap dengan keinginannya. Tetapi orang yang melakukan kehendak Allah tetap hidup selama-lamanya. So, what these verses see is that the world has the problem, masalah yang dunia ini punya dengan identitas adalah dua hal. The first thing is the world doesn't know God. Dunia ini nggak mengenal Tuhan. Karena identitas yang kita punya itu ada di dalam Tuhan, seperti yang di Kejadian 1, ayat 26, 27. Our identity is from God. If you don't know God, you don't know your identity. And when you don't know God and you pick the other things that the world fixes upon us, they don't have any foundation. They don't have any basis. Gak ada dasarnya. Kita coba pasang identitas kita ke aspek kehidupan yang duniawi. What does it say in verse 16, Cak? What does it say there? Keinginan daging, keinginan mata, keangkuhan hidup. It's not from God, not from the Father, tapi dari dunia. These things don't last. Coba kita pikir yang tadi some things that we place our identity on. We place our identity in our career, dalam karir kita. Kalau kehilangan kerja gimana? No, it happens. You can be at the top of your game in the career and then something happens and you lose your job. Terus gimana? You put your identity in your wealth. You lose all your money or gimana? You put your identity in your friends and relationships. But if they leave, what do you do? Gimana? Ujung-ujungnya pasti kecewa. Tapi kalau identitas kita ada di dalam Tuhan, nggak mungkin kecewa. Nggak ada. Because that's where our true identity is based on. Identitas kita memang ada dalam Tuhan. So when we base it off Him, you won't lose it. You won't lose your identity. The second thing that this passage is trying to tell us is kita nggak boleh pakai hal-hal dari luar untuk bereskan problem-problem yang di dalam. So we can't use things external to deal with things internal. So one of my favorite sayings, because I use it all the time now, is that if you plant an orange tree, you're gonna get oranges. Kalau pohonnya pohon jeruk, buahnya pasti jeruk. Ya make sense lah, ya kan? You doa, you mau kayak gimana, gak mungkin keluar apel. An apple won't come, bro. If you plant an orange tree, expect oranges, bro. If you are getting the wrong fruits, you plant a different tree. If you see apples, it's actually an apple tree. Even though you want oranges, if you see apples, it's an apple tree. Karena identitas kita adalah hal yang dari dalam, bukan yang dari luar. Not like these things. Bukan keinginan daging, bukan keinginan mata. It's not the things external to us. Our identity is from inside. Our identity is from inside. Oh, we can't fix inside with outside. Gak bisa. Kalau mau coba itu, it's like with the tree, ya. It's like, okay, you have an orange tree. And, ya, keluarnya orange, ya, keluarnya jeruk, ya. And instead of trying to fix or change the tree, you paint the orange so it looks like an apple. But it's still an orange. It doesn't change anything. You just change so it looks like it is, tapi bukan. You know? Sama dengan kayak gini. Hal-hal kayak gini nggak bakal ganti apa yang di dalam kita. It won't. Hal-hal yang fana ini, he won't change the things inside. Nah, jadi kebaliknya, the reverse is different. If we change what's inside, what comes out will be different. Yeah. Yeah. So what happens outside is a result of what we change inside. Yeah. That's why we can't fix our identity crisis using external things. Karena identitas kita ada di dalam kita. Yeah, more on that shortly. Tapi so far, yang kita udah discuss adalah kita harus mendasarkan identitas kita dalam Tuhan. We have to base our identity on God. Because our true identity is in God. Genesis 1 verse 26 to 27. Number 2, knowing God allows us to know our real identity. From 1 John. Because if we don't know God, we don't know what our identity is. And number 3, our identity is changed from the inside. And once that change happens, we can see it outside. Now, moving on, the main reason aku mau khotbah tentang identitas it's been on my mind a lot over the last 3, maybe a month now. And during pas komsel, kita lagi baca 1 Korintus. Yeah. Because in the city, kita semua komsel kita baca kitab yang sama. We read the same book in the city komsel. And we finished Ephesians, kita baru selesai dengan kitab Efesus. And now we're going to be reading 1 Corinthians. We're slowly going through it. And in the end of chapter 1, in verse 31, it's a verse that popped up. And let's read it. 1 Corinthians 1, verse 31. Karena itu seperti ada tertulis, barang siapa yang bermegah, hendaklah ia bermegah di dalam Tuhan. So whoever shall boast, let him boast in the Lord. Yeah. And I thought, this ayat ini kayaknya familiar banget. Yeah. So Paul also writes something along these lines in Philippians 3, verse 1 to 11. We'll go to that later. I mean, that's one of my all-time favorite verses. I really, really like that. It's been my IG bio for years, so you know it's serious, you know. But yeah, more on that there. But from this is actually from Jeremiah. Ini sebenarnya dari Yeremia pasal 9. So let's read it. Yeremia 9 ayat 23 sampai 24. Beginilah firman Tuhan. Janganlah orang bijaksana bermegah karena kebijaksaannya. Janganlah orang kuat bermegah karena kekuatannya. Janganlah orang kaya bermegah karena kekayaannya. Tetapi siapa yang mau bermegah, baiklah bermegah karena yang berikut. Bahwa ia memahami dan mengenal aku. Bahwa akulah Tuhan yang menunjukkan kasih setia, keadilan dan kebenaran di bumi. Sungguh semuanya itu kusukai, demikianlah firman Tuhan. Now, so let's go back to verse 23, chat. Yeah. So, a trap that we fall into is that kita pasang identitas kita kepada hal-hal yang kita bangga, ya, yang kita bermegah. Or the opposite. We are really proud of these external identities that we have. You know? So, ya, kita bisa we can attach our identity in things that we're proud of, or we can be proud of our not so real identities. Dua-duanya happen, ya. So, for me, for example, I'm pretty proud that I'm pretty good at organizing things, ya. Jadi kalau ada event atau apa or something small, mungkin kalau kamu sama outing, I'm pretty good at organizing that. Jadi it became part of an identity that I created for myself. Yeah? And for the second one, you know, aspects of my identity yang aku bangga banget, ya aku bisa bilang I'm proud to be Indonesian. Paspor masih hijau, you know. Again, been in my IG bio for years, so you know it's serious. But you know, I'm proud to be Torajanese. Gak banyak orang bisa bilang mereka lahir di kampung. Aku lahir di situ. You know? I'm proud to be Torajanese. I'm proud to be a Melburnian for 20 years. You know, I'm proud to be from the west side of Melbourne, not from the east. Sorry. I'm proud to be from the west. I used to live here, but the west is better, to be honest. Okay, the west is better. The west is better. The west is better. I should just go home now. To be honest. But yeah. But in verse 24, di ayat 24, God is saying, oh, that doesn't matter. Don't be proud of that thing. Don't base your identity on that. You know? If there's one thing to be proud of, is we should be proud or base our identity on the fact that we know God. Siapa yang mau bermegah, baiklah bermegah karena yang berikut, bahwa ia memahami dan mengenal aku. And further than that, it's not just knowing God, it's knowing and understanding God. Knowing and understanding what God is, who God is. It's that relationship as well. It's that relationship. So, yeah, let's say, yeah, memahami is a really, really deep word. You know, it's understanding. It's deep than just knowing. You know, I can say, like with Omex and Tante Peggy, I can say aku kenal Omex. Yeah, I've known Omex ever since I first came to Melbourne. It's been 20 years now. I can say aku bisa bilang bahwa aku kenal Omex. Tapi kalau soal memahami, knowing every aspect of Omex, I don't think I can say that. Tante Peggy can probably say that, but I can't. You know, there's levels to what a relationship is. The relationship that God is inviting us to have, or the relationship that God wants us to put our identity in, or for us to be proud of, is that deeper relationship. Ya, mungkin gak cukup kita cuma kenal Tuhan atau tahu akan Tuhan. Kita beneran harus mengenal Dia. We really have to know Him. We really have to know Him. That's something that you get with a deep relationship. And as we said before, that deep relationship helps us know our identity. Knowing God and a relationship with God is the biggest step to knowing where our identity is. Because when we know God, we know who we are in relation to Him. Kita tahu Tuhan, kita tahu diri kita sendiri. We know how much God loves us, so we do the same to other people. We know how much God cares for us, so we do the same to other people. The amount of times that God forgives us, so we do the same to other people. The amount of times God looks after us, so we do the same to other people. So, brief recap, yeah? We have to base our identity on God. Our true identity is in God. Knowing God allows us to know our real identity. And that our identity is changed from the inside out. And God and knowing God are the only things that we should boast about our identity. If we were to be proud about something in our identity, let it be that we know God. Well, for that last point, like I previously mentioned, well, let's read Philippians 3, verse 1 to 11. Now, all time, one of my favorite verses, one of my favorite passages. Akhirnya saudara-saudaraku, bersukacitalah dalam Tuhan. Menuliskan hal ini lagi kepadamu tidaklah berat bagiku dan memberi kepastian kepadamu. Hati-hatilah terhadap anjing-anjing, hati-hatilah terhadap pekerja-pekerja yang jahat. Hati-hatilah terhadap penyunat-penyunat yang palsu. Wah, udah mau disunat tetap palsu ya. Karena kitalah orang-orang bersunat yang beribadah oleh Roh Allah dan bermegah dalam Kristus Yesus dan tidak menaruh percaya pada hal-hal lahiriah. Lahiriah meaning external things. Sekalipun aku juga ada alasan untuk menaruh percaya pada hal-hal lahiriah. So Paul saying is like, okay, when it comes to external things, gue juga punya. When it comes to all these external things that, you know, like I said before, that we probably shouldn't base our identity on. Ya, gue memang juga punya. Sampai dia bilang kayak gini, jika ada orang lain menyangka dapat menaruh percaya pada hal-hal lahiriah, aku lebih lagi. Lu kira lu kaya? Gua apa lagi? Lu kira lu orang yang keren? Gua apa lagi? If you think you're sick, look at me, mate. I'm him. That's what he's saying. Now, verse 5. Disunat pada hari ke-8 dari bangsa Israel, dari suku Benyamin, orang Ibrani asli, tentang pendirian terhadap hukum Taurat, aku orang Farisi. Verse 6. Tentang kegiatan aku penganiaya jemaat, tentang kebenaran dalam mentaati hukum Taurat, aku tidak bercacat. Oh man, this guy. So Paul knows his stuff. Yeah, Paul, everything. He's clean. As a Jew, as an Israelite of that world, dia punya semuanya. So dia punya semua kredensial lah untuk menjadi orang hebat. He got all the accolades. But then, what does Paul say until verse 11? Tetapi apa yang dahulu merupakan keuntungan bagiku, sekarang ku anggap rugi karena Kristus. Verse 8. Malahan segala sesuatu ku anggap rugi karena pengenalan akan Kristus Yesus Tuhanku lebih mulia daripada semuanya. Oleh karena dialah aku telah melepaskan semuanya itu dan menganggapnya sampah supaya aku memperoleh Kristus. Verse 9. Dan berada dalam dia bukan dengan kebenaranku sendiri karena mentaati hukum Taurat, melainkan dengan kebenaran karena kepercayaan kepada Kristus, yaitu kebenaran yang Allah anugerahkan berdasarkan kepercayaan. Yang kuhendaki ialah mengenal dia dan kuasa kebangkitannya dan persekutuan dalam penderitaannya, di mana aku menjadi serupa dengan dia dalam kematiannya, supaya aku akhirnya beroleh kebangkitan di antara orang mati. Wow. Wow. Lihat aja kata-kata yang Paulus pakai about the things that in this world people want. Ya, dalam dunia ini orang mau yang itu. What words did Paul use? Ini verse 7 and 8, Cak? Rugi, loss, apa lagi? Sampah, garbage, man. You know, that's what it is. Everything, all of the status, all of the accolades that Paul has, it's loss or garbage, rugi atau sampah buat dia. Because of the overwhelming greatness of knowing God. Because the gain of Jesus is more than everything else. Karena pengenalan akan Kristus Yesus lebih mulia daripada semuanya. So when it comes to our identity, we have to think the same way. Kita harus siap kehilangan semua identitas kita yang di dunia ini. yang mungkin bisa kasih kita untung atau hidup lebih nyaman, might give us more profit or let us live more comfortably. We have to be prepared to lose all that. Karena di atas segalanya, over everything, knowing Jesus and being in Him is greater. Mengenal Yesus dan hidup dalam Dia lebih mulia daripada semuanya. This identity in God should be the only thing that matters. Living in God in this way, knowing God. So, how we are in this world could mean nothing. Tapi kita punya Tuhan. Apa yang kita punyai, keuangan, kesuksesan, could mean nothing to us kalau kita nggak punya Tuhan. And the reverse is true as well. Kita mungkin kalau kita bandingkan dengan standar dunia ini, kita bisa jadi failure. Kita bisa jadi orang yang gak punya apa-apa, bukan orang siapa-siapa juga. Tapi yang penting kita punya Tuhan. And it should be okay. And yeah, I think that's a key why a lot of people right now, maybe not right now, mungkin dari dulu ya. Identity crisis is a thing everyone's been facing. Tapi people feel as if they need to get better and better and better. They look at the world and see what is feeding us and I gotta be like that as well. Kalau gue mau sukses di dunia ini, gue harus kayak gitu. So they turn to that. They turn to the things that give them external validation, an external identity. They paint themselves to be of this world. They're an orange painting themselves to be an apple. Tapi masih nggak cukup. They still feel inadequate. The world tells us to do that. God says, no, come to me. God says, come to me. I'll help you. I'll bring you up. So we fall into our sin and we listen to what sin has for us as our identity. Sin tells us, no, you're a slave to me. But God says, no, come to me. Come to me and I'll save you from that sin. Some people live broken lives due to circumstances they can't control. And itu aja yang mereka lihat dirinya. They just see themselves as like that. But God says, no, come to me. Your identity is in me. I'll give you a new life. If your old identity is back, let's get rid of it. I'll give you a new one. Your real one. Because that's who you're meant to be. Made in God's image. And through Jesus, I'll pause this here. We have access to that identity that God has given us. So we convert that into something that the world can see as well. Yeah, we see how God loves us. We love other people. That's where identity is. A reflection of what God is to us. That's our identity to the world. So, if we claim that our identity is in God, our actions should stay the same. No. It's still the same thing. Our actions, the things that we do out, is a result of what's happening inside. Jadi mungkin kita harus ganti pohon yang di dalam kita if the fruit is not, if it's not a mirror image of what our identity should be. And no one's perfect. I can say that. But thankfully we have Jesus. And He'll help us. He'll help us every step of the way. Gitu saja. Thank you. God bless.